What is up, students? Welcome back to FAB School. I'm Evan.
And I'm T.
This week, we're going to talk about PT Singapore, the ProQuest changes they made for Yokohama, Armory Deck Valda, and some gravy glaze while we're here, just because it's the coolest deck I think I've ever seen.
I like shitposting on Mastery Pack Guardian by just calling it Armory Deck Valda, but I mean, that's basically what it's been so far, and
Dude,
I can support some gravy glaze.
can we please stop in one-card zeros? Please, LSS.
No.
I keep seeing these Guardian spoilers, and it makes me depressed. Like, I understand, I went into it knowing that they wouldn't make a single good card for Guardian, but I'm still disappointed.
Bright Lights, we at least got like Twin Drive and Dio. What's the Twin Drive and Dio for Mastery Pack Guardian? Is it this instant aura that was spoiled today?
No, I think the Twin Drive has to be the block card that makes your opponent discard, right?
Surely that card's unplayable.
You think that card's unplayable? That's got to be good into some decks, right? There's no way it's not.
The first time you flip another one of those off of itself, or like some other random nonsense that makes you not make them discard, and then instead you have to discard, you'll take that card out of your deck, I promise.
Wait, do you have to discard? Hold on. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's the player that loses to Clash discards.
No, hold on. Let me read this.
It's not like Test of Strength where you're like, I'll just give them a gold, whatever. Like, that sucks, but oh well. It's like, alright, I discard a card. Well, good game.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yep. Anyway, so this new unplayable set.
Alright, my bad. There's literally 0 good cards in the set.
Yeah, waiting for Twin Driver Dio, and so far they don't exist. Anyway, that's kind of out of order. Let's talk about Pro Tour Singapore. Obviously, I wasn't there at Pro Tour Singapore because of work obligations and other nonsense, like not wanting to be on a 19-hour flight, but eventually I'll get over myself. You were there, as well as a lot of our team, so why don't you give us some insight onto what happened for the days leading up with our team testing and how everybody did and how you did and how you ended up on the deck you ended up on.
Alright. First things first. This may have been on us. I wouldn't say it's on us. I think we all knew Slippy was good. But I don't really think we put a ton of time into it until we were actually in Singapore. So that kind of put us a little bit behind.
I think it kept getting brought up by like Hayden, Dale, and Dan McKay kept talking about it, but it just like kept getting dismissed pretty easily. And then I think other Hayden Jansen was talking about it too some, but every time somebody brought it up in the testing,
you can't trust Hayden Jansen, bro. he's a Jarl Coper, you know.
Yeah, like I mean, aside from that, just every time somebody brought it up, it just kept getting dismissed with like, well, surely there's going to be enough Mario that this deck isn't playable, and like points like that, right? And then it ended up being the most represented deck, right? So.
Oh, also, I think we thought the matchup wasn't as bad just because we had like 9 D-Reacts and Syndra. But then like on Thursday, I remember this because Jacuzzer, like 6-0 Jacob on Slippy versus Syndra, and then I started doing, like I was already doing because I didn't want to play Syndra. And was kind of just accepting it. But I think after that 6-0, I like full spiraled. I was like, all right, I give up.
After hearing how the in-person testing was going while you guys were there, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of glad that I didn't make it to Singapore. Just because like I know that I would have hit that Panic Doom also, and I would have like played some stupid fatigue deck, you know? Hayden probably would have got me to play Jarl if I was there.
That's unfortunate. But like also one thing was, well, while we were testing too, we're playing like Syndra mirrors, and I don't know like how much you play that matchup, but it's not a fun one. No. It's like, I forget what tweet Jacuzzer made, but it's like the Mill 4 adventure card. That's like basically the matchup.
Why? What do you mean?
So you're just like running your 4-card hand at the other person. Like I think we eventually just came to the conclusion that like D-Reacts just aren't even good. Because, like, if you draw them, you probably just aren't going to trigger your mask. If you stop your opponent's mask, and they'll just mask you on their next turn because they have, like, basically full tempo.
Right. Okay. I get it now. That makes sense. Yeah, like, I feel like that's kind of just I don't know. I don't want to say it's a problem with this game, but it's kind of like a problem. It is kind of like a problem with this game, or like card games in general. Most mirror matches are not that exciting in any game. And like Flesh and Blood doesn't solve that. I don't think that I've ever had a matchup in Flesh and Blood where I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to play the mirror, you know? Like maybe Lexi, but
I think I'd have to disagree with you. I think Syndra, like, out of most of the decks that I've considered playing at like big events, I think the mirror matches have been like, maybe some of them haven't been like super enjoyable, but I'd say like at least outside of the Syndra matchup, they felt pretty skillful.
You're telling me that the Aurora mirror was fun?
Yeah, I honestly, listen, hot take. I played Aurora at like 1 million rated tournaments, and I think I lost like 1 out of my like 20 Aurora mirrors.
Yeah, I mean, losing one of your 20 versus like a bunch of people at random pro quests and stuff is like whatever. But like my point is that it's not fun. Like, I get it, we're playing these big events because we want to win and we want to do well and we want to win money and prizes and guts and glory, right? But I mean, it's not fun. You still need to be having some aspect of fun when you're playing the game, even on like the most professional level. Otherwise, it's just going to get so tedious that it literally becomes a job. Like,
I don't know. I thought Aurora mirrors were fun, but
man,
also, I mean, there's like Oldham mirrors. That's gas.
I don't know if we can be friends anymore. You know, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Tell me you've never played Oldham mirrors before.
I've played Oldham mirrors. That's why
What?
I don't
And
know
you
if
don't
we
like
can say
them?
this.
That's so crazy, bro. I think
Guardian mirrors are painful.
Dude, Guardian mirrors are gas, bro. You're crazy for that. You're actually... T, I'm disappointed in you.
I don't know. I'm disappointed in myself.
All right,
so how did Singapore actually go with everybody once we got like past the discovering of Slippy being a real deck?
So I was doing on Syndra, so then I just decided like, all right, I'm switching to Gravy because that's what I wanted to play anyway. Side note, I got off of Gravy like 2 weeks before Singapore because I just couldn't do it against Syndra. And in hindsight, I realized it's just a big baby. And it's not that bad.
Yeah, you just like, I mean, you're not favored, but you do have game into them.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. I'm gonna be honest.
Everyone makes the matchups for Gravy sound like they're like completely like 0-100, and don't get me wrong, they are kind of polarizing. I mean, they're very polarizing at times based on like what you see versus what they see. But it's not like the entire game is like totally 0-100. Even like the Prism matchup can be fine. The Syndra matchup can be fine. You have outs in both, and you have ways to play the game as Gravy into those matchups. So, I don't know. I feel like you said, it's winnable.
It ain't bad. It ain't bad. I think I played against 2 Syndra in the Calling, and I beat both.
Whoa, we ended up in the Calling now. What the hell happened in the Pro Tour?
Well, sorry to skip the Pro Tour. Here's what happened in the Pro Tour. I played Gravy, and those 2 weeks of me not playing Gravy, I think really caught up to me. I lost to a Slippy, and I think had I just had more experience in the matchup, I probably can't lose. I died with Major Master Boots in play, and felt like a big idiot. And then the next round, I played against Jarl, and I got fatigued because I got my compass exploded super early and played the wrong equipment.
And that's why we need last ditch effort, ladies and gentlemen.
That's why we like last ditch effort. So 2-0, I beat 2 Verdances.
Okay.
Lost twice, and then I play against Lucas, who's on Verdance, and I'm like, oh, easy, cakewalk. And then I proceed to like not draw any gold generators for the first like 4 turns of the game because I'm playing Nolreen Hood.
No.
And I think I like raw dog like 3 or 4 allies out of hand and just get cooked. And Lucas has like, I'd say a pretty perfect start. Ring of Roses, gain a couple of life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that was unlucky. And then lose the first round of draft because I'm not known for my draft skill. But I feel like with the knowledge that I learned in the Pro Tour from getting cooked in CC, running back to the Calling, playing Gravy, start off clean. I beat Nia, one of our PCG Invasion teammates, on Slippy in round 1. Cooked him. I absolutely got him with a snag. possibly the highlight of my weekend, honestly.
Big.
It was big. I don't know. This is gonna sound mean, but like, I just saw the sadness in his face when I did it to him, and I knew he was cooked.
Means it was worth it.
It was worth it. Yeah, play against a Victor next round. Win, because Guardians do not have a good time in a gravy. And then I pair... Hold on, let me go to my profile real quick. Double check. I believe the next round, I pair into Dr. Daniel McKay on Slippy, who tested with us for this event. And I got cooked. I think there's a point in the game where I over-respected the Tarantula Toxin and lost because of it. So that was on me. Again, had I tested more, I don't think I would have lost in that spot. And then next round, another Slippy. This time, I don't die, but I get fatigued.
You got fatigued by a Slippy?
So here's the thing. I feel like I kind of got played, though, because I'm talking to Tarek on this day. He's playing day 2 of the Pro Tour at this point, and he's telling me, like, bro, I think if you just, like, head first fatigue into Slippy, you put, like, 1 last-ditch effort and, like, 2 of the scubas, you, like, can't lose. So, I'm like, alright, I believe the doc. So I do that, and then I'm pretty sure if I just play, like, 1 more ally in my deck, I can't possibly lose. And I got fatigued. So that was sad. Ended up winning out after that. Hit 2 Syndras in the last 2 rounds, which was, like, terrifying. Messed up that can happen, but they kind of bricked, and I drew Tipple ally plus, like, boats, so I won. It is pretty good. And then going into day 2, I'm at 6-2, so I have to 5-0 to top 8, which it's pain. I don't know about you. Hate going into day 2 at 6-2. Like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, why did I do this to myself?
I want to go into day 2 at 7-1. I've never top 8'd an event where I finished day 1 XO, and I've never top 8'd an event where I finished day 1 at minimum.
I'll say all the events that I've gone into day 2 at X1 or better, I have top 8'd. Hopefully, I can replicate that for a calling soon. But going into day 2,
ruined me.
Going into day 2, round 1, I hit a Acilio, which have not played this matchup very much because, like I said, I switched off of Gravy like 2 weeks before the event and then switched back the day before. And I'm like, I know this is not a good one. I've played against it like once or twice on Talishar. I'm aware that they can like zap your allies and end your turn. But in this game, I just draw my boats at like opportune times. Not much you can do. Next round, I play against one of my favorite people in FAB, Alexander Vore. T, you know who he's playing?
Some kind of wizard?
No, he's playing Riptide.
Oh.
Yeah, crazy, right?
So did you
So like I
cook
said,
him?
I don't... somewhat. I'd say, like... Yeah, I cooked him, but his Riptide deck was, like... a lot more aggressive than I expected. Like, this deck's actually pretty sick, and I feel like you probably have a good Slippy and Syndra matchup, so... might be something to be on the lookout for. But he's playing like Nimbleisms and like Swift Shots. He had a Jack Be Quick in the deck, which I thought was pretty sick.
Is that that's the one that steals the allies? Or is that the other one?
I don't... should be the one. I meant the one that steals the allies. I don't know if he played the other one, but...
Okay.
He did play the one that steals the allies against me. But Gravy's is just kind of broken value, so... I got there in the end. The boat is like really good against their deck. Who would have thought?
No.
Next round, hit another Acilio. This time, the bro like cooks me on like turn 3. But he hit like the full combo. You know when they have the Gauntlet Flash, but they also hit like the Blast to Oblivion Piv in like the middle where they pick up their Sigil of Brilliance a million times.
Yeah.
So he nuked me for like 50 and didn't even play a spell. So
neat.
That was rough.
Just 4.
Yeah, so I can't make top 8 anymore. Kind of sucks. Next round, I play against Adrian. I can't remember his last name, but he's one of the dudes on the Sunflower Samurais. Super nice guy. He's on Slippy as well. Kind of just drew my boats and allies at good times. It felt like he was on the back foot the entire game trying to clear allies.
Yeah.
And sometimes it happens. Not really much you can do as the Slippy player. So ended up winning that one. Probably like 15 life left, I want to say. And then next round, This one's like I think it's a win-in for top 16. Just because with my loss, I should be able to make top 16, assuming some pairings go right for me. My opponent is on Verdance. God bless. We're talking before the game, and he's like, "Oh, like I cooked like 3 or 4 gravies this weekend," and I'm like, all right.
They're not me though.
They ain't me though. You know. So I feel like a lot of the game he's on the back foot. It took him forever to get online, but I want to say his plan was to like fatigue. And we were talking after the game, and he saw like the last ditch efforts I cited in. He was like, "Yeah, it just wasn't gonna happen, regardless of if I got online." So last ditch effort broken in gravy. You don't need to play Humperdinck if you don't want.
That card might be the goo, you know.
It is kind of the goo. When you don't,
and then goes like, "Why is this in your deck?" And then like when you randomly just don't lose those matchups that sometimes you lose, it feels great.
Yeah, I mean, especially in gravy, it's a lot easier to get it online than in other decks because you can just draw the rest of your deck. So you have like 6 gold left.
Yep.
Crack them all. I guess one thing I should have mentioned before I went on my rant about how my weekend went was what our teammates played. So I think Sean, Jacuzer, Jacob, and Nick played Syndra. Matt Rogers and Dilks, they both played Kasai. Matt was flip-flopping decks like the whole week. He once played Dory, and then we just put 90 reacts on our Syndra deck, and he like couldn't win. Which that's a pro tip for any of you guys listening: don't play a Welcome to Wraith hero. It won't end well.
Whoa, but what about?
No. Nope.
But then don't play a Welcome to Wraith hero.
Don't play Welcome to Wraith hero. Who did I miss? Oh, me and Tark played Gravy because deck's broken. Also, gotta get some Tark glaze here. Shout out to Tark for continuing to play Gravy when we all were like hating on it, because I had like no chance of doing well in the calling otherwise. Bro made a cracked Gravy deck.
True.
Am I missing anything? Oh, Dr. Dan McKay and Hayden Dale, they both played Slippy. I'm trying to think. I think most of our Syndra players ended up in top 64, I want to say. Or better.
Yeah, I think our best performance was Dilks on Kasai.
That boy nice, you know.
In 28th, he played his girl, you know, got the good run.
I had a decent run the calling. I got 13th, which is like, okay.
From the team, Yuki got 12th, Dilks in 28th, Majin in 33rd, Sean in 35th, Nick in 41st. Yeah, so good results. Jacob 51st.
Yeah, decent showing this time.
Yeah, very very reasonably round showing instead of very top heavy like it was at London. Which is also still just fine.
Did I miss anything from Singapore?
No, I mean I think that covers Singapore. I mean I wasn't
actually,
there,
hold on. I do have one thing I want to say. If you look at the Pro Tour top 8, that is incredibly gravy centric, I feel. But if you look at the calling top 8, it's way more spread out between heroes. I think there's a lot of Slippy. Akatsu got 9th. There's a Jarl. There's an Auxilia. There's a Fang. A Florian. Ira, of course, won. So.
Yep. Ira won the calling and the battle hardened, dude.
That's crazy.
Shoma's a monster though. So. Did you see what he did to Fang in the finals?
With the sensor?
Yeah, with 3 of them.
No, but I heard about it.
Bro, it's rough. He mind reads boat. Right? Because what do you not want to get hit by? So he just names Conqueror of the High Seas. And Feng has a boat in his hand. So it just gets arsenaled. And then the next turn he can't play it. And then the next turn he gets censored for boat again. And then the next turn he can't play it. And then the next turn he gets censored. And on camera, Shoma's pointing at the sensor and the mask of momentum and saying that he wants to draw before he names. And Feng thought he said tipple. And so he goes, "Oh, golden tipple?" And then Shom was like, no. Mask. And then Feng goes, "Oh," and like kind of leans back in his chair like defeated, because he knows he's going to name Boat again. And then he does, he names Boat again. So like from turn 1 to the end of the game, there was just a Conqueror of the High Seas that could not be played.
That's unlucky. ProQuest, Yokohama.
Yeah, they nerfed you, dude.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not like super upset about those changes. I will say, I don't love that I can't travel all the ProQuests I want to.
For anybody who doesn't know about the changes, they're making it now for the next ProQuest season that if you win a ProQuest, you're not allowed to play anymore. So if you win one, you can't play any more ProQuests, which kind of like deflates people who are just like grinding gold foils. The invite used to pass down from first to second, but then if second also already had an invite, the invite would just get deleted. Like nothing happened to it. So now, if you win one, you just can't play anymore, which doesn't count for like Pro Tour Top 32 automatically getting one.
They said it will next season though.
Okay, so it doesn't this season, but it will next season?
Yeah, that's what Trevor Baker said on Twitter, I think.
Okay, so for this season, if you made top 32 at the Pro Tour in Singapore, you can still play them, but then if you win one after that, you can't play anymore. And then if anybody wins one, then they can't play anymore. So it's like a preventative measure from people just farming all the gold foils and stuff, which is like fine, whatever, I get it. But
I'm gonna say, dude, I think it's a bummer. ProQuest for me, I'd say are like it's probably my favorite time to play Flesh and Blood. I see like, I guess I'll say locals who live within like 2 or 3 hours of me that I don't usually see. And I think it's gonna suck if that I won't be able to do that in the future, assuming I win a ProQuest, right?
Sure. I mean, it's a safe assumption. If I'm winning them, you're winning them,
I will say, for transparency, I played 3 ProQuests last season, and I won 3. So this is a rule to stop like me, but I do think it's kind of a bummer that I can't travel all the ProQuests. Like, also, I will say it makes planning kind of awkward. Like, I don't know about you, how far you're willing to travel to a ProQuest. But, like, I'll go like 2 or 3 hours. I'll do like a 2 or 3 hour drive, but like, it'll make like planning cars for it awkward. Like, say you agree with your boys, like, oh, like the 3 of us will drive to this one that's like, I don't know, 2.5 hours away, and then like you win your local one that week, and then you're like, all right, sorry, I gotta dip out because.
Yeah, I'm not.
I saw some people on Twitter mentioning like, "Oh, you should just hang out at the ProQuest," but you're crazy. You're actually crazy,
bro. I don't want to hang out there whenever I played the first couple rounds, much less if I'm playing 0.
Like, I don't know. I wouldn't go to an event that I can't play at, especially, dude, if it's like a 2-hour drive. Like, miss me with that. Ain't no way.
For me, it's like kind of tough because in our area here in Missouri, they all plan around each other. We have shops that like generally work together, like the Kansas City area, sometimes the St. Louis area. They all work together, so they try to plan like a Saturday and a Sunday event. So like that both of those, I'm in central Missouri, so driving to Kansas City is like 2.5 hours, 3 hours. Driving to St. Louis, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. So what we'll do is we'll make the weekend plan to drive up on Friday or Saturday morning before the tournament, play the Saturday tournament, get a hotel, and then just stay for the Sunday tournament. That's going to make that planning very awkward for anybody because like you don't want to get stuck paying for a hotel and everything after you win one, and then can't play the next.
100%. And like one thing I'll say is like just for example, I'd say probably like once a ProQuest season, Guy will drive like the 4 hours up to where I live. And he will stay at my house on like Saturday night after a ProQuest, and then like drive to one on Sunday. It's kind of cooked if like you're driving up for 2 local events, like you said, and then you win the Saturday one, and you can't play the Sunday one.
Right. Like, in his case, I'm not saying that it makes it feel any better, but like at least he's just like, oh, okay, well, I won one, I can just go home now, right? So like he's by himself, he can just go home. But like in our case, you're just like stuck in a car of dudes. You can't do anything. Like you're just stuck now in Kansas City or St. Louis with nothing to do. So I don't know.
I'll say the changes are not ideal. If I'm going to be honest, I don't know why they just didn't make the invite pass down more.
Yeah, pass it down all the way. I don't care if you're like end up giving an invite to somebody in ninth. It doesn't matter. Just pass the invite down. It makes no sense. Why are we doing this? Like, everyone's argument is that it sounds so biased because everybody talking about it is people who wins a bunch of gold foils. So like, I get it. But at the same time, we just want to travel and play the game, and it doesn't matter. Also, Flesh and Blood's like prize splits and concession ruling is
Yeah, I feel like now
old.
too. I mean, I feel like we have this conversation with like every ProQuest season, but I feel like even more so now, like it might be beneficial for like a grinder to just aim for second, because I think they mentioned this on the Runaways podcast too, which is like they don't really run 1Ks and stuff for like this game, at least in my area. I know they've got like the AGE Open and stuff, and they do it in like New England now as well. But no stores within like driving distance of me are running 1Ks on like at all. So like essentially the ProQuests end up being the 1Ks, and it kind of sucks that you can't play those after you win one.
Yeah, and then so an interesting thing was discussed in the judge Discord for Flesh and Blood, and it was, what if both players want to concede? Like, what if both players get to finals and they both want to concede, you know? And so the ruling that was made, or the discussion that was had, was that if both players want to concede, they play a game for the right to concede.
That's pretty sick.
So, like, if you and I are in the finals and neither of us want to win, we can play a game for the right to concede. And then somebody else said something and it got off topic, but there was the discussion of a double loss where nobody gets the invite.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's like insane. This kind of thing should not happen. You should not be putting your players in a position where they're like, I actually don't want to win. You know, like winning should feel good. Winning should be like, yes, I did it. I won my event. Even if it's like, man, it's like your local events sometimes. And like some of the ProQuests are really small. Like I know I've been to ones in like random nowhere Tennessee that are like 8 people, like barely fire, right? But like it should still feel somewhat good to even be winning those events. Like you win your armory, and for some people that feels good, right?
It's kind of whack. So like they removed ELO, or they are removing ELO in the future, just because like the whole ELO ranking system stopped people from like playing.
And now we're introducing a new way to stop people from playing.
Yeah, and this is like a hard stop, not like I care about my ELO too much. By the way, side note, if you care about your ELO that much and you can't like X1 a ProQuest, what's going on?
Games should not be.
I can't hate on the boy for that.
Games should not be enticing people not to play the game. If we're gonna have James White running around at every single event saying that we're just like getting together to play great games of Flesh and Blood, then we should not be enticing each other not to be playing the game.
It's not even enticing. It's just like straight up you can't play if you win.
Right. So like at that point you just want to concede. It's different if you're like, yes, I want to concede because I want my friend to get the invite, and I know that like I know the person that I'm playing against, or like I want the gold, they want the invite, or vice versa, or whatever. That's a different scenario. But if one way locks somebody out of even being able to play the game, and now we're conceding, so we're not playing the game because we don't want to not play the game, sounds so stupid to me. Anyway, I could rant about this for hours and how much I hate it, and it'll all sound biased, so the comments can just eat us alive. I don't know.
Yeah. Ugh. Sorry, really, just guys.
Armory Deck Valda, which is actually not a real thing. It's Mastery Pack Guardian, which looks like Armory Deck Valda because it's just a bunch of shitty Guardian cards that make seismic surges. And like Valda's probably playable in some manner until you pair against a Gravy, and you're like, I will pop Seismic Surges, and they go, I will activate Chum, and then you die.
Yeah, if anything, I don't think this set is unbanning Guardian. It's probably just gonna make it worse for it. Like, I think the only good card I think I've read from this set is like Fearless Confrontation.
What is that one?
That is the 3/5 Majestic 3-block blue. That is an instant discard this. Target attack gets -1 and loses and can't gain Dominate.
Yes, that one is good, but it's not good in Guardian. It's good in like Gravy.
Yeah, I'm not full convinced this card's actually gonna be like the nut in Gravy for like protecting your allies, just because I don't know how often does that come up. But
I mean, it might be nice, you know. Regardless, this set doesn't look that exciting.
I feel like I've not seen a single good card, which is brutal. That's not true. I guess I think the Valda specialization looks pretty good, but again, Guardian's not playable, so
yeah, meh.
That ley line of the old ones is kind of cool, but
it's cool, but
you're just gonna get blocked out eventually, though, right? Like
you get blocked out on a turn where you didn't have a card to waste on activating tech plating or whatever, right? And then like, at what point are we just back to playing one card once? You know,
one card one. Let's go. I tell you what. When you're looking at a set of 1-card zeros, a 1-card 1 ain't that bad.
Thank God this set's not draftable. Everything else in this set just looks like random tech bullshit that doesn't actually fit into Classic Constructed in any meaningful manner.
It's like Guardian hate. It's Guardian hate for Guardians, which is so whack.
Yeah.
I will say on the bright side though, there's a few new 4/6s, which they're decent enough.
Yeah, cool. More blue 6s. That was definitely what was holding Guardian back from being S tier.
But speaking about lack of drafts, what about that announcement that there's gonna be no draft at Worlds or something?
No draft at Worlds. So okay, actually that's really interesting. No draft at Worlds means that Super Slam, the draftable set that they keep saying is like super premium to be drafted, and they've done a lot of design about making it a good draft set, will have no major events that it's drafted at.
You know, that might be true. That's true. That might be true. But you gotta look on the bright side. What do you think? Do you think they're sparing us?
Maybe. I mean, maybe this set's just like completely unplayable, you know?
But also, they're Montreal major, if that counts. The world premiere.
Yeah, that's a sealed calling.
Oh, being draft. Well, I mean, there's draft day too.
Yep. And then the set will never see the light of day as a draft format again.
Hell yeah. Listen, me personally, I'm stoked. I suck at draft, and this change will make me top 8 Worlds.
You should just be a Wizard player.
Calling it now. Might as well be.
I feel like I'm getting like overly negative in this podcast, but I want something positive to say. I honestly, man, I'm not feeling that great about Flesh and Blood right now. Maybe it's because LSS shot my dog, and they're like, no, you can't have good fatigue decks. No, you can't have Count Your Blessings, and also Dash IE is Living Legend. So maybe I'm just down because the way that I like to play Flesh and Blood isn't viable right now.
Listen, all I'm saying, get on the Pirate Necromancer.
I mean, I guess, maybe. I'll try anything at this point. But right now, Flesh and Blood to me feels like the Riftbound waiting room.
No, it can't be.
Dude.
All right, listen. I was getting burnt out before Singapore, but I felt all of that wash away, dude, when I was playing Gravy in the Calling. It's like, This deck is so sick. I feel like I'm doing so much. I'm taking so many game actions, and I'm not just spinning my wheels.
You and I historically have enjoyed different decks, though. That's the problem.
Get better taste. I don't know, T.
Oh, no.
I think Flesh and Blood might be past the days of cringe fatigue.
My life is over. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
What do you do? You like other decks. I mean, you played KO in LA. You just gotta branch out, dude.
Bro, that's because it's better to be lucky than good.
That's real though.
That was between testing groups, and I sat down and slapped Jacob upside the head like 3 or 4 games in a row in the hotel, and it was cooked. I was like, all right, I'm locked. That deck was so broken that Pete Ward top 8'd with 0 games of it, you know?
Nah, here's the thing. I don't think you can say KO's broken. I think it's just like a Pete Ward is broken, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the deck's broken if you're lucky and intelligent. So, if KO was playable again, I'd be happy. Honestly, if Super Slam stupid rock fatigue deck is real, then I'll be happy, you know? If I just get to play like 60 shitter blue block 3s and then rock, that'll make me happy.
Dude, so I've been thinking about that. What if you just like take a setup turn against that deck?
Yeah, you win the game.
That's what I'm saying, dog. Don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not going to be good, but I want it to be because, like, I have a crippling gambling addiction.
Real.
Yeah, I think that Gravy is probably going to be a reasonable amount of fun to, like, dive deeper on, and it's probably what I'll end up playing for KC, just because I need to play something that will get my head back in the game, and just jamming Syndra is not going to be it.
Yo, okay, actually, this is a good segue. I know I just spent like the first half of the podcast like hating on Syndra, and I've done it in the past before. But after playing it for like 2 weeks, admittedly, the deck has more decisions than I thought it would.
Yeah, and a lot of people, like, okay, that's how we end up in these situations where we're watching Syndra players play on camera, and somehow, like, everybody in chat is talking about how easy Syndra is to play, and then everybody outside of chat is talking about how poorly the Syndra player plays on camera. Like, I'm not calling any one specific person out. I feel like 90% of Syndra games that have been on camera since the hero came out have just, like, been terrible plays from the Syndra player. And, like,
they still win like half the time, bro. It's crazy.
They still win half the time, but the half that they lose because of those decisions are what makes the deck interesting. And, like, I was able to use Syndra to reintroduce one of my friends to the game who absolutely hates Ninja because of how, like just generally what Ninja does in this game. He just didn't like it. But then I was like, here, try this. And he's like, all right, these decision points feel like they matter a lot more, and I like this because it's the right amount of pressure in the right amount of ways. And I'm like, see, it's good. And then he's back into Flesh and Blood. So Syndra's nice, but it's not the kind of nice that I enjoy.
That's unlucky.
In the back of my mind, I'm like almost saying give me Dromai, but like that just means that I should be playing Gravy because it sounds like I just want object permanence.
Dude, Dromai, but your guys don't have Phantasm is kind of insane.
Really, I just want to be activating and pumping the gun and shooting 5 GOG, 5 GOG, 5 GOG, but
I mean, if you think about it, bro, the induction chamber and plasma purifiers, those are basically allies, dude.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they don't block. Your deck has yellows that play them. Like, Spark of Genius is just chum. Can I get that on a playmat? Spark of Genius is just chum.
You probably could.
Alright, I'll see y'all in Kansas City. We're locked.
He's locked. You got anything else you want to add, T?
What is your favorite product that was banned in the United States in 2009 that you were able to acquire in Singapore?
Oh my god, dude. It wasn't in Singapore. It wasn't in Singapore. I had a layover in South Korea, though. Dude, they have these, like, they're tropical breeze Marlboros. Oh my god, dude. They're actually so scrumptious. It's terrible. I'm gonna be honest, dude. I smoked the first one. I was like, I see why these shits are banned. I get it.
Promoting capitalism and lung cancer on the FAB School podcast since 2025.
I don't condone starting to smoke, but if you already do and you happen to be able to try them, I say go for it. I don't want to say they're life changing because I don't want to hype it up too much. But
I mean, they definitely are life changing, but not in a good way.
Maybe not in the ways you want.
Yeah, I think that about wraps it up for this episode of FAB School. Nothing like crazy exciting, but I am looking forward to calling Kansas City. One thing that I do want to say is that because both of us will be in Kansas City for the calling, feel free to come up to us and ask us some questions in person that you would like to see on the pod, you know? Something that you would like to see change about the pod or something that you would like to hear us talk about on the pod. Or if you can't make it to calling Kansas City, then drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear your feedback and how we could improve the podcast. But if you're going to say to stop being sad about Dash hitting a living legend, then don't say anything at all.
If you don't have anything nice to say nothing at all.
That's not true. You can shit on me in the comments. I'll deal with it. Shout out to Jakumer. Congrats on your draft performance. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this session. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Class dismissed.